Push him down mid lane after this, I guess. It's like, I'm Dade and this is Jacket. No, that's his performance at Worlds, I think, unfortunately. Ooh. Burn. Right. Gonna have to play Burning Bush Zyra to handle the burn. Or add on to the burn, I guess. It's getting late. The jet lag's starting to hit Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Things are getting a bit crazy here.
They are. Well, the Italy ban, not too surprising, and I think we're going to see a lot of that throughout this entire qualifier. Cassidy as well.
You know, now that I'm looking at champion select, I'm seeing that Lucian is actually grayed out. He's actually not able to be picked right now.
Well, that shows us. I guess since the pre were played on the live patch.
Yeah, they were played on the live server and not the tournament realm, I bet.
That's absolutely right. We're in 3.11 right now, so since they were played on the live server, I wasn't here in Korea when those were played, but they were definitely played on the live realm. So I guess all of our stories about Lucian will not be fulfilled this time. But
oh well. Well, at least we're in 3.11, so you know that we will always be down. Greatest skateboarding music of all time. I'm telling you guys, if you're on a skateboard, you want to be listening to that band.
Okay, well, Ezreal and Corki get split up this time. Corki taken over by the capable hands of Imp and Zyra.
I think Corki's riding the same roller coaster that Rise is in his champion portrait. He's just going the other way.
They're on the same log flume.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Splash Mountain or something. Well, Corki's kind of in his own log flume, really.
Okay, well, there's the Thresh for Mata. He is the consummate Thresh players. And will we see the Aatrox this time around? It has been on the rise here in Korea. Aatrox, Hecarim, probably not going to be part of the same composition, although we can hope for the ultimate engage composition.
Oh, we can.
The Thresh pick, not a surprise. Dandy going back to his roots with the Jarvan as well.
Yeah.
Champion he was really first known for.
Oh, there's a change over to Rumble for Chunju. A good choice after last game. Wouldn't fault him for that.
Well, it just gives them so much dive potential as well. You can initiate very well under turrets with Equalizer and follow it up with the Aatrox, Dark Flight. So I like it. I like it.
Can Aatrox smell anything? It doesn't look like he actually has a nose.
I think his helmet's covering up his nose.
Is it a helmet, though?
That's
or is it part of his head? I think it's part of his head. But if you spent all your time hanging out on battlefields, you probably wouldn't want to have a nose anyway, I guess.
But he can never stop and smell the roses.
No. This is true. The tragedy of Aatrox throughout history, apparently.
Well, at least Sense isn't playing him, because that would make no sense.
Oh, you. Still got it.
All right, well,
welcome back, Monte Cristo.
Singe gets locked in spite of the absence of the Shen pickup.
Yeah.
But that is a Looper special. So they're pretty confident that he can handle whatever's going to be going in that top lane, even though it looks like it will be a top lane last pick. Could be a top lane Aatrox, but hasn't been as popular so far in the WCG qualifiers as that Aatrox jungle, at least among Korean teams.
Yeah.
But I guess it...
Maybe. Well,
we'll see.
It's got to be jungle Aatrox.
Yeah, it will be the jungle Aatrox. Top lane, Rumble, and the Ahri in the mid lane.
Yeah.
So a lot of poke, a lot of dive potential here, a lot of dive potential.
Yeah. Well, the knockup, if they get the Aatrox knockup on somebody who's on Equalizer already, and then again, the Zyra ultimate, the roots, just huge engage from Blue this game.
Huge dive potential, absolutely massive. And again, very strong dragon control coming out of Samsung Blue with this composition.
2012 Najin Sword would be proud.
Yeah, too true, but
right.
With Ozone's comp right here, they are going to have some degree of siege potential with the Gragas and a pretty strong split push with that Singed. It will also be pretty easy for Singed to proxy early on.
Kind of looks like in our camera shots that these guys are like living versions of that sidewalk art that like looks all stretched up if you look at it like right on, but if you back off from the right angle, it looks perfect.
Yeah. It's a very interesting addition to this broadcast.
I guess so. Stretch-o-vision. It's not 3D or like really high resolution, but hey, it's something different. We'll market it. Well, guys, here we go. Ozone again. They really want to win this one. They want to have a good tournament after what happened at Worlds in Blue. Such a strong team coming into it. Let's get in the game. I love the graphics in that intro, but the music kind of makes me think I'm going to be hearing somebody talk to me about investing in timeshares right after it ends.
It is a little bit ominous in that way, isn't it?
A little bit. About to
But
be
the flying ribbons make
sold.
you feel very at ease.
True. It's very
I know whenever you get anxious, I just whip some ribbons
You whip out
around.
the ribbons, that's right. I like pawed them a little bit, and then I calm down. Oh, ooh, spirit. He's got a lot of spirit with them.
Got a lot of
I'm so
chutzpah.
sorry. That was terrible. Well, we're on the board now. And, oh, Sense gets grabbed. A bit of damage put on Dan.
Yeah, not too much. He's getting the ward in there.
He got it.
Won't be a big deal, considering that Ozone was pretty far spread out right there. Not too much damage. They are doing a good job of keeping track of the movements of Blue, however.
Yeah.
With the Jarvan flag.
Singe was the first person to the beach party.
But we don't have the beach party Lee Sin this time.
No, we
not
don't.
in this game.
Not in this
Noah.
game. No beach party Leona. Been playing a lot of Leona lately, so I picked up the skin. Because when you like spam her control 3, that like move, she just like waves her parasol around and it just looks really insulting, so you just walk up in lane and do that to people.
That's how you insult people, is by waving your parasol
That's
at them.
right. I like to do that immediately. Just build all armor on her and then just wave your parasol around.
Okay, well, it looks like we will have normal lanes in this game. Rumble giving a helping hand over to Aatrox right there.
That's
But
teamwork.
it is a little bit dangerous for both teams because they don't have particularly good wards to see whether or not the enemy jungler is going to be to your blue or not.
It's a bit of a cause for concern, yeah.
Right, so we may are we going to see some action here at one of the blue buffs? No, we're not. Looks like they will just pass each other by and go to their own blues.
Yep.
But you have to be hesitant in that situation, because if you don't have eyes on the jungle right, that you're kind of sitting there saying, oh, is he going to come to my blue? Should I go to his blue? Do I want to encounter him right now? Looks like it'll be some pretty clean pathing for both of our junglers.
Oh, yeah. And Pawn putting a little bit of damage onto Dade early on with the Foxfire. Dade with his casks, or I guess metal barrels, kegs this time around?
Yeah, they're kegs. He's a biker.
I've been out of college for a while, so I forgot what a keg was, I guess.
It's okay.
They don't really do the keg thing in Korea because nobody's apartment really has room for it.
No.
Yeah.
It's a city.
They do the bar thing right, though.
You just gotta go to a bar. Don't need to have a party
It's not so bad.
in your house.
And always drink responsibly, guys.
That's what Gragas teaches us.
That's right. Well, sometimes if like Dade plays Gragas during Worlds, it shows us what happens when you don't. So I was so scarred by how Ozone played at Worlds, man. I really like that team. I really like this team. It hurt me deep inside.
It's all right. You'll get over it.
I will. Thanks. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, it's okay.
Whenever I have problems, I can always count on you to tell me I'll get over it.
The pain goes away in time.
It's really good. Well, here we go. Sense in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, look at those moves. Oh, but the play. That sentence misses, but Sense, can he get in range? Yeah, he does get the flash, but there's a flash from Dandy over the wall as well. Aatrox coming in, though.
Oh!
Sense still alive. No way! What? The power of Aatrox. Look at that.
Wow, absolutely saving Sense right there. The health pot and the Dark Flight knockup buying just enough time for Sense to get away, and Dandy giving up that first blood and a little bit of a buff refresh right there. Let's take a look at that again. First off, this is a cute move by Sense. Moves out of the way, forces Mata to flash for the play.
Yeah.
Dandy doesn't know what's going on. Death firing in from behind, so Sense goes ahead and flashes the wall. Dandy comes over, and look at this. The knock-up, just enough deft with the arcane shift as well.
Yeah. Man, that was a great play from Blue.
And just one of those moments of inches right there.
Yeah.
But very nicely done.
They
Overall,
paid the iron price.
They did. And they got more flashes out of it, too, I do believe. Yes, they did. So. Same number of flashes. Just kidding.
It's just math, don't worry.
It's just the jet lag, don't worry.
That's right.
I only got to Korea 2 days ago.
Well, we've only got that excuse for at least one more day then. Better enjoy it while it lasts.
All right, well, clearing out that pink ward immediately.
Probably a good idea. Aatrox can get pretty terrifying if he gets kills early.
I'm impressed by Pawn so far. He does seem to have a pretty appropriate champion pool, and
Yeah.
he's been varying it up a little bit. So, nice to see
Not bad.
when a player can make those kind of adjustments. We know he can play Nidalee quite well, and Fizz, Ahri, and Zed, the major assassins, along with Kassadin coming in, so.
Now I appreciate Riot's attention to detail with the skin, because if you notice when he drinks, he actually does drink from the spout on the keg too.
Oh, wow.
Like the tap, so I like that. It's the little things.
Danny's spending a lot of time in this top lane.
Yeah,
I think he's trying to set up for a counter gank. I think he's assuming that Spirit is going to come up here and deal with this, but
It seems that way.
Spirit is not going to do that.
Well, if anybody's going to be familiar with playing against Dandy's ganking habits, it's going to be the jungler on the other team. So, yeah, I think he just kind of played him a little bit there.
Yeah, Dandy does prefer to play that counter ganking style, generally speaking.
Exactly.
But Spirit just going to go ahead and farm up. He's now a level up on Dandy as well, so this is going to set them up really nicely. And Chunju needs to push this out. He is at level 6 right now. We should be looking for that dragon in just a couple of minutes. And it's good timing as well.
Oh, that ward was misplaced, actually. They're going to come in. There's, oh, the charm misses. Yep.
Chunju's going to go back anyway, and here comes Pawn back to the mid lane. And they're starting to ward up, but Chunju actually decides to stick around. He can't leave right now. He didn't get enough time in order to push Looper back, and Looper going to be difficult to deal with considering how tanky he is and the fact that he already has that null magic mantle. So he's trying to tie Chunju up in the top lane.
It's worked pretty well so far.
So that he can't rotate for that dragon. It is pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, Looper, again, you know, we talked about him being one of the bright spots in Worlds, and his Singed was probably, I would say, the brightest of that bright spot.
Yeah, definitely.
Singed and his creepy flipping fingers.
Pawn can't make a play right there. The brush is warded, so they know what's going on. Dade
Close call there.
knows exactly what Pawn is up to.
Yep.
As he goes for that blue buff, goes the long route, just to be safe.
See, I feel like that Gragas rides in the sidecar of the motorcycle that Jace drives.
I would love to see that.
Because, like, Jace strikes me as the type that would drive a motorcycle, right?
Sure, why not? I could see it. He probably invented some really badass motorcycle.
Probably, like, it changes into, like, a plane if he drives off a cliff accidentally. That'd be awesome.
All right, here we go. They're going for the dragon anyway, even though they do not have Rumble with them. He's the main power that allows them to do these early dragons. They have to be careful because there is steal potential coming from Dade right here, but
Yeah,
there.
I don't know. Oh, there we go. Now they can get it.
That was not.
He saw how much health the dragon had. I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, they also did that without Spirit even having Smite up.
Man,
so that was
dodged a bullet
really risky by Blue. And not the smartest play for Dragon that has ever been made, even though it did pan out for them.
Yeah. Well, if it worked, I guess.
That's one of those examples where you know you have, sometimes pro teams tend to tunnel on things, and if you know you have a theoretical dragon advantage due to composition, that sometimes you can tunnel too hard, but here we go in the bot lane.
Yeah, Sense in trouble. Mata gets exhausted as well. Def grabs that kill. Looks like Sense again miraculously escapes. Sense is like one of those like ancient trees that just never dies.
Spirit still has his passive up as well, so we may see him try and use that. Pawn has to come back to mid lane to make sure not too much damage goes down on his turret.
Yeah.
As I was saying, yes, they have the vision advantage right there. Yes, they desperately wanted to set up for that 8-minute dragon again, but sometimes you can tunnel and do something because you think you're more powerful, even though all the conditions to doing that thing have not been met, which they certainly were in that situation, including critical things like Chunju being there. The fact that Gragas is on blue side this game, and that means that Dragon can be difficult to take with the Gragas burst overpowering your Smite. And also things like Smite Being
Having
off
it,
cooldown.
yeah.
Having it.
Having smite is good when you want to smite things.
So, risky play does work out, though.
And man, like, you got to wonder, it was what happened in game number 1, because that was such a bloodthirsty game, but game 2 and 3, not so much. We need the Annie in here again.
Yeah, also the Aatrox build is quite interesting. So he's gone for Berserkers and immediate home guards, which is not also normally what we see. Usually on Aatrox, we either see that Spirit Stone coming up pretty early, and then an Ancient Golem, or we see that Bilgewater Cutlass and trying to go for that more damage-oriented Blade of the Ruined King route. This time, he's going for that extra fast map presence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're making plays, it does make sense. Although, yeah, normally you would see those boots mobility instead.
Well, yeah, the Berserker's home guard. That is truly curious, though.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Obviously, Berserkers is good with Aatrox or Aatrox as a champion, but in this situation, it's a bit surprising. But I think he just wants to fight. You know, he's just bloodthirsty, and I can't fault him for that. I may even approve.
Jury's still out on that one.
I'm thinking about it. Got to be careful with junglers, you know.
Well, they know Aatrox is there right now. They saw his slow coming out of the brushes.
Yep.
And he will back off. Use that home guard to quickly reposition himself to another lane. That is, however, the advantage that home guard offers. Of course, if you are going to be going with it that early as a jungler, is that you can make your presence known from one lane to the next very quickly if need be.
Yeah, you can move around a lot faster. Absolutely. And he's still going into that jungle. There we go. Yeah, had to pick up oracles. Oh, he's going to be able to really put a lot of fear into Imp and Mata in that bot lane, really.
You know, it's so weird. Spirit is playing this champion like Benki normally plays Vi or Lee Sin. Just fast home guard, very fast oracle ward clearing, except you just typically don't see this.
Oh boy. Well, Imp and Mata saw the dive coming, so they did back off Mata. There we go.
Yeah, that just is on about.
They're going to lose that turret, but at least they didn't get caught. There it is.
Yeah, Dandy's been spending a lot of time in this top lane too with very little effect. Chunju's been playing quite conservatively up here, just trying to farm. Now using the equalizer to clear out the turret. This is a bit interesting. I mean, he has allowed Looper to pretty much shove him in and free farm the entire time. Nobody's really come up there and tried to put Looper in check. And a farm late game singed is a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, you gotta wonder.
Rumble is not a particularly item-dependent champion, so getting him farmed is less relevant, but Looper's going to start getting very scary very soon. He's probably got a ton of money on him right now. There we go. And he's actually building that Cage's lucky pick, a bit of an interesting pickup right there, and then completing the more standard catalyst.
Yeah. And he's just trying to augment that gold even more, I guess.
You know, if he's confident that he's going to be able to stretch this into the late game and he's just going to keep farming for a long time, might as well just have an extra gold for 10 item.
Yeah.
Make sure your income over the long haul is good and get that immediate boost as well. He is a little bit behind on gold thanks to the global objectives.
Does make sense. Dragon up in about 40 seconds, as you can see from our new Dragon timers. Whoa. Quiet down, Aatrox.
All the champions are so loud. Lysandra, Vi, Aatrox, they all
the
really
new ones,
love,
man.
They really love yelling in the Korean client.
All the newer ones. I can take Aatrox. He's actually like talking, whereas Sandra's just kind of like. Wah!
I like Lysandra's screams. They're hilarious.
You know what was one of the weirdest things about watching Worlds to me is hearing all the English voices. I'm not used to that.
Yeah, it's always funny to go back to America after we haven't been there for about 6 months because I haven't actually played any of the champions with their English voices or even heard their English voices.
Well, that's what they sound like, yeah. All right, well, there's a dragon from blue. Can they get it? Does Dada have a chance of stealing this? No, he doesn't get it. And here we go, jumping onto Rumble. Rumble backing up. There's the equalizer. Pretty nice. Separates the team, gets a flash out of Mata. Meanwhile, Looper in the back line say pop the passive on Aatrox. Dandy trapped Pawn. inside that ultimate after Spirit Rush was used, but Pawn coming back now with the rest of that. Does some damage, Imp exhausted, in trouble, has to flash, there's the barrier. Def finishing that one off. No, Ari gets the kill, and they're gonna back off. So the Dragon end 3 kills, and quite possibly a mid lane turret. Imp looking pretty frustrated on your screen right there.
Well, Ozone is just making terrible calls when it comes to this Rumble. This is this second game where they've tried to have these team fights around Dragon between the 8 and 15-minute marks, and this is where you do not fight Rumble.
Yeah.
Especially when you have this Singed who was doing such a good job of farming in that top lane. Just let him keep, screw it. Just screw it. Like, it's not worth the pain right there because you took an insane amount of damage to your mid lane turret. You lost Dragon, you lost the team fight, and we have a huge gold swing right now. Take a look at that again.
Watch it again.
I mean, they get the Dragon right there. Dade gets charmed immediately and taken down to like 1/4 health. So he's out of the fight instantly. Now, Chunju does a very good job with his equalizer of whittling down most of the opposition. They just let Looper go, which is the smart thing to do in this situation, and focus on Dandy. Sure, Chunju eventually goes down, but Deft will pick this one up right afterwards, and there we go. The barrel roll not quite enough to finish off Pawn right there either.
Well, this is an odd situation. Stand up. Oh, hi. Oh, they grabbed him. Spirit in a little bit of trouble, tries to get away, can't do it because of the play, and Spirit with no passive goes down. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And Creepy Singe flipping Chunju back into that poison.
Now, that was an example of something Ozone's very good at, though, which is Mata setting up Thresh picks. And they will hide in unusual bushes in order to force that situation. Pawn coming around right there, going deep into the enemy jungle.
Oh, they got Def. Bringing him in. There's a nice play as well. Def does not make it out of that one. Gragas gets that kill sent in the back lane, still alive. Here comes Pawn coming in with the ultimate from Ari. Dandy a bit low. Dade has to get away as well. They're going to finish off and a double kill for Pawn. A 2-for-1.
Nice use of the Spirit Rush right there. Looper probably should have come in a bit more aggressively, especially since Chunju wasn't there. I think that was a bit of Looper's
His equalizer. The flash from Dade comes out. Looper zoning quite nicely. Chunju is going to get flipped. They're going to grab Spirit. Flips in the wrong way, actually. Back out. Looper in a bit of trouble. There's the knockoff. Explosive cast comes in. Imp, though, gets that kill. Kind of a messy series of affairs in the mid lane.
It's a nice charm by Pawn, though, in order to secure the kill on Looper right there.
He's had a really good game on Ari.
So far 5-0-0, already having that DFG as well. Extremely dangerous.
Yep.
And he's, if you can see right here, Looper's already forced Chunju into getting a pretty early Negatron cloak as well, just to survive that push up in that top lane and be able to deal with that constant poisoning.
Yeah. Intense looks from both benches right now. I mean, remember, this is it. This is the game that'll decide who moves on. I mean, yeah, you play against SK Telecom, but still, you want to give yourself that chance.
Bit interesting that Deft has decided to go tier this game. That's not something that we have seen from most Ezreals. We saw it from Dade last game, but that was in the mid. It was a bit more understandable when you don't necessarily need those combat stats enough because it's a shorter lane and you will be able to escape in most situations.
I mean, it looks like both these teams just really setting up for that long game.
Yeah. And it will be, that Monamune next, looks like.
Yeah.
So.
Very late, but hey, if you push it out to like 40 minutes, then you'll get it anyway, and you'll have it when you need it.
Yeah, most commonly with Ezreals these days, of course, the training points, we've been seeing Triforce into Last Whisper or Triforce into Bloodthirster, depending on how exactly the player feels their survivability is or how much poke they want versus auto-attack damage.
Right. And Mata grabs Def. They're going to bring over the wall. Def's in trouble again. Caught yet again. Spirit comes in. They're going to get the kill trade 1-for-1. Explosive cast doesn't quite connect. Spirit, the passive is popped. There's the barrel. And it's enough. A double kill for Dade. Nice play there for Ozone.
And Mata right there came up really big. He actually caught Def with the death sentence after he arcane shifted. So there was really no way that Def could get out of that. That was a great hook coming from Mata. And Mata is pretty much single-handedly turning this game around right now. He is keeping Ozone in this.
While Mata is kind of the only support out there that people kind of put near the same level as Mad Life, and especially on Thresh, Mata's one of the scarier ones out there. He plays that carry support style, and it's showing in this game.
Yeah, Chunju trying to go ahead and save his turret up in the top lane.
Yeah.
Not sure if he's going to be able to make it in time. He should plan to get back for that dragon fight that's about to go down right there. Looper's already gone back, and he has picked up the Twin Shadows. I have never seen a Singed build this item before.
Huh.
Quite strange.
I mean, I suppose it does help you get the slows to get in range of somebody to flip them, but...
It may be a problem considering how mobile Blue's composition is, and he may also just be using it to keep track of where everybody is on the map.
I'd say so. Did you ever notice that Thresh's chains kind of come out of like things in his cloak? Forget that though, there's a dragon going on. Blue trying to take it, but this is a bit dangerous. Yet another dangerous dragon, and we'll see. Are they going to bait that fight? Rumble in position. There's the equalizer. Splits up the team. They'll be able to get the dragon, but that's about it.
That's fine. That's all they need. They just need to take this advantage even further. You'll notice, too, that Chunju went ahead and finished that Liandry's, so this is not quite the Royal-style Liandry's first aggressive team-fighting Rumble build, but Blue certainly playing a lot like Royal this time around.
Yep. And now they're going to go after this mid lane turret. Dade caught by the snare and the charm just for a moment. That turret very low. They are going to grab Sense again, but they can't really follow up on it.
With the Liandry's and how fed Pawn is, it's extremely difficult for Ozone to actually team fight this.
Yeah.
And it's actually looking pretty grim for Ozone right now in terms of making it out of this game.
Yeah, I mean, the gold lead isn't that big for Blue, but it's more just the potential that the champions have in these compositions and team fights. And we may see this right here. Equalizer's not up, though. Deft avoids that death sentence, but that was so close.
Yeah, Mata nearly landing that one as well. He's been pretty on point this game. And this would have snowballed a lot harder already if Mata hadn't been able to set up a few of these critical picks that have happened and slowed Blue down just even a little bit right here. But, I mean, Ozone invested so heavily in all of these vision wards around this dragon, and they just haven't paid off.
Yeah.
So not much going right this game for Ozone.
Not quite yet. It still is open, but not going to be easy. And Spirit, again, that top turret still has not gone down. A relatively low turret kill count in this game. 2 turrets in 23 minutes is pretty crazy.
It's been all about the dragons, right? Because
really
that's what Samsung Blue's composition does, and they've been dictating the pace of this game, so.
Yeah. Oh, Danny gets caught with that charm. Easy pick for Blue. And speaking of Blue, waiting for that buff. Not quite up yet. Ward's going to allow them to see it for now, but Sense, again with that Oracle, is going to be able to take that out. They're going to move in. They want to get to top lane turret. And they will. Sense over the wall. Oh, he misses his roots, but the ultimate does match hit Mata. They take him down very quickly. Spirit actually really low. Needs to get out of that fight fast.
Spirit gets a passive proc though. He'll be all right. It's hit
Oh,
by a rocket.
He's down, and Imp trying to stutter step back. He's got the exhaust, has to Valkyrie away.
Well, Ozone is really in a large amount of danger right now because Pawn has been massively fed and has a pretty distinct advantage over Dade. And what we're seeing right now, too, as we head into this, Imp going in, he's got to be careful, though. They should just give up this blue, yeah. Samsung Blues, they don't want to fight this right now.
That blue is not for Blue this time.
No, they were smart to give it up.
Yeah.
So, but the difference between the AD carries is not so huge right now because all we're seeing really is that they're both about to get Last Whisper, but that tier not exactly adding a lot of combat stats, but what it is going to do is when that tier gets full and when it instantly becomes a Muramana, there is going to be an insane power spike for Deft in comparison to Imp.
Yeah. And there goes the turret in favor of Ozone, their first turret of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge difference, and we're really just going to see them falling further and further behind. The Abyssal Scepter only further going to help out this massive Ahri. Less than 25 minutes already a Rabadon's, a DFG, and an additional blasting wand. Pawn is huge.
Yeah. He's had a pretty good game.
And Sets has been doing a really good job of clearing wards for the most part. Let's take a look at that again. Coming in, Sets over the side. He misses his E, but manages to land the ult. And with Pawn coming in, he just gets instantly melted. Spirit low. It does proc his passive right there. He'll be back in just a second. Yep. But Looper,
only for a second.
His HP not doing as much when there's a Leandries on the Rumble. A smart pickup. And they're trying to come in with the cleanup. Can't quite make it work right there.
Yep. And back in game now. Both teams just positioning around. Dragging up in about a minute.
Just continuing to try and set these picks right now. Sets and Pawn doing a great job of matching up together. And at this point, basically anybody but Singed is going to be dead to rights if he's trying to bait him so hard.
Yeah, seriously. This is a little bit too obvious. All right, they didn't fall for it. Gonna take raids. And Blue continuing to make their presence known in the bottom half of the map, Ozone side of the map. Sense still trying to get the new gauge, but I think they don't even need it. They can still poke.
Yeah, they can, especially since that last Whisper now done on the Ezreal.
Yeah, the Mystic shots are going to be hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, with the lanes pushing, there should be an opportunity here for Samsung Blue probably to take this bottom turret. But they need to keep converting objectives, continue to take this 7K gold lead that they have. And they're still trying to set up picks as they wait for the minion wave to reach this tower. Good ward on the backside.
Yeah. And the plant's just holding them up a little bit. Dade does get wrapped up, but again, oh, actually they grab Sense. Here they go, bringing Ari right into the box as well. Explosive cast. Pawn very low on health, gets taken down by Corki immediately. Equalizer does look good. They had to back off. This is still a fight. That Blue, oh, actually, Ozone turns this one around a little bit. And it ends up being 1 for 3.
A triple kill for Imp right there.
Yeah.
Now, Pawn messed up that pick pretty badly in terms of his decision-making to go back in at the end right there.
Yeah,
because
he got himself poked down very quickly, and we'll see it.
I mean, Imp does a really good job right here as well. Sets gets grabbed. Mata manages to escape, reads that very well. There's the DFG down, and that means that with Ari coming back into the fight, pretty much free right there. Imp just taking... See, the issue with this right here is if you go for the itemization that you have on Chunju.
Ooh,
where
nice flash from Danny to avoid that two-shot barrage in the end.
If you go for the Leandries first, if you go for the glass cannon on the Ari, you have to make that damage count. You have to kill somebody immediately. Because if you don't, and you go off cooldown, you are so squishy that that's exactly what's going to happen. Because this Singed is getting tankier and tankier and tankier.
Right.
And Spirit used a lot of his early gold to get that home guard enchantment, so he's not as tanky as he could be. Still no Aegis. Only has that ancient golem, really. You got 100 to 0 somebody.
Oh, and he gets it. There's that danger. Dade steals it.
Yeah, Spirit can't even get off the smite in time. That's not Spirit's fault. There's just so much.
Yeah, when do you smite it?
Yeah, you can't smite it. You just can't.
And I mean, that's one of the things that Ozone has been wanting to do all game with this composition is, like we've said, Blue has a dragon-oriented composition. Well, one of the ways you can sort of mitigate that is to have a Gragas on your side. But
yeah, on this side of the map, on the blue side.
Yeah.
Looper takes the turret, and with that, we're down below 4K, so they've cut that gold lead that Blue had by over 3,000 at this point.
Yeah, not bad. Ozone's still in it.
They really need that Aegis, though, and Dandy has gotten so far behind this game. I mean, look at the farm difference. 65 to over 140.
Wow.
By Spirit. Dandy is so very poor.
Also, 1, 4, and 5 doesn't really help you out a lot either.
No, certainly doesn't. I mean, not like Spirit is doing, he's doing about the same in that regard.
That is true.
Mata doing a good job of controlling that vision around the Baron right now, trying to prevent that for as long as possible.
Yeah, with those engaged supports, really need that visual advantage. Need to be able to come over the walls and stuff.
All right,
And
so the
blue.
Matamune is up right now. We're probably getting close to Muramana status for Def.
Yeah.
And that's going to be enormous for this Samsung Blue team. And they're being much more cautious right now. They want that 5v5. They're sticking together. Right as I say that, they all disperse.
Oh, well.
But they are, for the most part, just going to go ahead and get Def that red buff. Make sure he's got it. Losing a tower, though.
Yeah. A little bit rough. It's going to be a close one. It really is going to come down to some of those last team fights, you know?
Yeah, well, with Pawn finishing up that Void Staff as well.
That's a lot of damage.
Just absolute terror.
Yamada maybe a little bit better equipped at handling the Zyras on the other team just because Thresh is going to be a little bit more tanky than like a Zyra or something will be, but he still needs to be very aware of his positioning.
Well, to Dade's credit, he's done a good job of hanging in there this game.
Yeah, totally. He's still, 3-1-6. He's got good items.
He's got great farm as well.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good game.
A little tap right there. Def still doesn't have any kind of Vampiric Scepter, so difficult for him to heal this up quickly.
Yeah. And Sense waiting for that opportunity to get the roots, get the ultimate.
He's gonna flash in. We'll
I think so. We'll see. Waiting for it. Plant did die. There we go. Another one loaded up. Yeah, not quite finding that opportunity to engage onto Ozone, but Ozone. Okay. No wards in that brush, so they thought they might be able to hide in it for just a moment, but didn't end up working out.
Yeah, Blue really starting to get scared of Looper right here. He did such a good job of farming early, and they didn't shut him down, and this is where you really start to regret not dealing with his Singe sooner.
Yeah, he's got that Rod of Ages. He's got the items that he needs. Imp as well, just absolutely terrifying right now. Having that BF sword on top of the Trinity Force and the Last Whisper. Also picked up a Negatron cloak too, so I feel like overall Ozone is about as durable as you really can be at this point in the game against this DFG Ari, but it's not going to be easy, but you have that chance of surviving with a small amount of health anyway, you know?
Yeah, if Dandy had focused more on farming in the early game instead of using some of that, a lot of his time rather to sit around top, he may have already been able to get that Aegis of the Legion, and that is so critical against this Rumble.
Yeah.
Who's going for this pure damage output, because we can see the locket already completed onto Spirit here thanks to, in no small part, his insane farming of the lanes, which hasn't had too much of an effect really, just because Blue has been on the offensive this whole time. So
yeah.
He's been able to help out with the split pushing a little bit more than most junglers ordinarily would.
Ozone moving into the mid lane. This could be the engage. Here we go. Spirit coming in. There's a dive onto Dandy the slow. It's a lot of members of Ozone. They're trying to disengage right now. Mata looking for an opportunity to death sentence. Doesn't find it quite yet. Maybe soon. Looper getting wrapped up. And now they actually do have Blue on the run. Not a lot of initial damage in that engage from Blue. And you can really see how worried they are about Ozone right now.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a botched engage there by Blue, but
yeah.
They come out relatively unscathed, but again, this gold total's not moving, and the longer this goes, the more it plays into Looper in particular's favor as he gets closer and closer to that Spirit Visage and unkillability, because Blue is pretty reliant on this AP damage, and again, they're all glass cannons.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of tankiness yet. Spirit working his way in that direction slowly, but certainly nothing like this Singed.
I mean,
running rampant.
Just talking about those gold totals again, too. I mean, we've said it before that once you get to around 50,000 gold for each team, they're going to have pretty much all the items that they're looking for in the game. It's kind of icing on the cake time after 50K gold.
Yeah, Chandra could still really use this Sonya's Hourglass just because of how squishy he is. He needs to make sure that he's not going to be immediately focused down, and if he is, there's a punishment for it in some way. As Dragon goes over to Blue.
Yet again. Now it's a 6K gold lead. Turrets are even, and we're still waiting for that big game-deciding fight. This next team fight is probably going to decide who wins. We could have it very soon.
Yeah, 5 men, all up the middle for Samsung Blue. They did take a couple of unnecessary turret shots or barrels right there. Jeff trying to zone.
Oh, the explosive cast just barely missing where it should be, not knocking them into lane, knocking them away instead. It does, and I mean, it does force MVP, or not MVP anymore, Samsung Blue back out of lane at least, for the moment.
Just continuing with the pressure right now with a couple of key ultimates out. They know they're going to be able to press this even harder.
There you go. I mean, they do grab Sense, no engage after that though. Imp just firing rockets from the outside. They will lose that turret, but are they going to go in on this? Singe trying to get there, throws out the slow. They do grab Chunju. There's a flash from Chunju as well. Looper waiting, speeding up. There's a barrel coming in. There's the equalizer. Oh man, Blue very low. They grab Def. There it is. That's what they were waiting for. The box in a good position as well. Pawn getting into the back lines though with Ari doing some damage, trying to, but no, Looper takes him out right away. And now Imp kiting backwards, taking down Chunju. Atrox on the outside, Spirit trying to lifesteal on those minions, get a little bit of health back, but overall an even fight. But at this point in the game, I would actually call that a bit of a win for Ozone. They could probably get a turret out of this too.
Yeah, definitely a win for
Big
Ozone
win.
because Imp is the AD carry and he's still alive, and Spirit doesn't have a lot of kill potential with his current build against either really. Let's take a look at that again. So Chunju looks like he's getting a little bit caught out right here. Does a nice job of kiting with the harpoon, but look how low Blue is when they start this fight. And Def gets caught again.
Man.
Mata flashes for the death sense, but this is the third or so time Def has gotten hit by a death sense in this game. And when you're Ezreal, there's not a lot of excuse for that.
Yeah, really. Pawn tries to get something going in the back lines, but he's doing it against the two tankiest people. So.
And he gets blown up by Dade as well. Dade manages to die afterwards, but it's small consolation. Imp has just been doing magnificently this game as well and staying alive. And now he's 7-2-3, catching right up to Pawn score right there.
Yeah. And I mean, we're seeing Imp do some of the same moves we've seen him do on Vayne, you know, just being very mobile, really good stutter stepping. Pawn gets that blue buff. And again, that gold lead's still the same place it was a while ago, just only about 5K. And now the attention turns to Baron.
We're in that power spike that we talked about. The Muramana is completed. There's a Bilgewater Cutlass as well.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure why there's the Bilgewater Cutlass. You wouldn't think you would want to go for a more dueling Ezreal style right now when you could go straight up damage in terms of a BT or Infinity Edge, which is typically how we're seeing it built.
I mean, I feel like this is a response to Def knowing that he's been getting caught out a lot and saying, all right, I'm not having the best game positionally. I need to have some insurance, you know?
It also keeps Looper from just charging at him. And that is very dangerous right now, because what we see Looper doing is using that Twin Shadows in order to just find somebody to flip and make sure that he can close that gap.
Yep.
Which has been really interesting to watch, and that's something that we see a lot of Singe players doing, but here we go. Mata nearly dying. DMG hits him.
Yeah, oh, there's a good equalizer. Mata gets taken down by Rumble, and now everybody comes in, depth in the middle of the fight. Pawn very low, gets taken down quickly by Looper. Dandy's separated in that back line. Spirit gets knocked up. Meanwhile, what are the carries doing? Imp still trying to center step, still trying to get damage done. Def's still alive, and man, you can tell that. 1 for 3 in favor of Blue. That damage spike. Imp still full health.
Yeah, Dandy very low, however, they will have to back off, and that doesn't mean that potentially there's still an objective here that they can take, but no. Instead, Imp just heading into the lanes jungle to recall.
Yeah, the lanes just aren't pushed well enough for Ozone to really capitalize on that fight. Or rather, for Imp specifically to capitalize on that, is what I'm saying. But Blue certainly did. Got another turret. Lanes continue to push. And again, just a close game, but yeah, now we're seeing that big damage spike that you talked about. And if Def can have good positioning, they're going to have every fight turn out like last one did.
It's only going to get worse, too, because Looper is now going for Randuin's, and the Twin Shadows in conjunction with Randuin's is basically just going to freeze everybody on the enemy team, and that's going to make it much easier for Dade to hit his skill shots, in addition to protecting Imp from having anybody really charge at him at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's great because what we really get to see here is just team fight skill versus team fight skill on each team, which is really neat. That's what I love. I love the big 5v5s.
Well, we're excited by that because we haven't seen it in so long.
I know, it's been all split pushing, but now it's a brand new world.
Brand new world of Trinity Force. Welcome back,
right.
Trinity Force, to
Welcome
viability.
back. Right. And we do see Ozone getting in position to push up that mid lane. Does pull Blue back away from that Baron. They want to have that fight in mid. There's the Twin Shadows. They do slow down Deft. Spirit getting a bit caught, tries to get away. Looper in the back line gets the flip onto Deft as well. Deft not being able to do a lot of damage. Yet Cataclysm comes on. Dandy does go down. The Equalizer looking pretty good. 2 kills already though for Blue, and they just could not catch Deft. And now he's coming back with all this damage. Imp died early on in that fight as well. Yeah, they just didn't get the engage that they needed to. It looked close, but now the lanes are pushing too in Blue's favor.
And Blue's going after this Baron right now. That was actually horrible positioning from Imp. He went in way too deep with his Valkyrie in order to try and finish off the kill. And it really didn't work out for him. His team is incredibly reliant on him for sustained damage.
Really?
And he needed to be the one cleaning up that fight, not the one going in deep early. That was Looper's job, and Looper did his job magnificently.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be a Baron for Blue. Oh, this has been really back and forth. Ozone nearly got themselves back into it, but it may be out of reach right now. Yeah, watch Imp's positioning right here as he comes in from the rear. So he's got some good rocket potential going on right now. Manages to get out of it, and he comes over the side to avoid Chunju, but he could have gone backwards in that situation as well because only Sense was really there. Instead, he decides to play it a little bit more aggressively, but ends up biting the dust. Mata flashes in to finish off Pawn, who also shouldn't have been there. And then Deft coming in from the rear, healed up just a little bit.
Yep.
Able to take it out, and now that 10K gold lead returns.
I mean, they really need to keep Imp alive, and Imp needs to keep Imp alive. He's done a pretty good job so far this game. It's just that last team fight, and you know, every team fight from now on is hugely important.
I think that mistake when he could have just hid behind Looper, because the Equalizer wasn't on him. He had 2 options, go forward or go backwards. He chose to go forwards.
Which is what Imp would choose. That's definitely his style of playing the game. In this case, it didn't end up being quite the right call.
Pawn is approaching that 6-sided build on RE2. And once they have double Zonias, I'm just afraid that because they'll be able to Zonias the burst coming out of Dade, there's just not going to be insufficient damage coming out of Ozone. But we shall see. That Singe is still so dangerous, and actually Looper choosing to go for yet another Chain Vest instead of finishing off that Randuin's Omen.
Well, you can tell who he's going for.
Yeah. It's a smart plan.
It's like an Ezreal killing machine. Not maybe finely tuned, but it's what it's designed to do anyway.
Ooh, Samsung Blue trying to set up this big little bit of harass over the wall right there.
Now there's a
nice
charm on the Looper. Nice shield from Mata, though. Keeps him more or less alive.
Yeah, just looking for any little thing right now.
Yeah. And now the siege kind of begins here. They've got the minion waves. They got everything pushing. It's going to be tough. Deft is going to be doing a lot of damage with those distance shots.
Looper is really keeping him in right this one, though. They're so cautious because that Twin Shadows is up, and they know that it could result in an immediate catch. Looper ulting in and flipping some poor soul straight into the belly of the beast.
That poor soul's probably going to be Deft.
Imp has that Banshee's Veil now, so he's been focusing extra hard on getting that magic resist to try and survive that Ahri rotation.
Yeah. And just a bunch of back and forth. This is one of the longest sieges we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, we haven't seen that many 45-minute games.
Yeah.
On OGN.
There's some longer games in the qualifiers last week. The Blaze Bullets game went to 50 minutes. But, you know, this is what we talked about 25 minutes ago. We were talking about, you know, this is the point that MVP Blue is going to get to if they were able to stay in the game, and they have. They've done really well, and now they're kind of reaping the rewards of their safer earlier play.
Yeah, Looper is still the big concern, though.
Yeah.
And Rumble in the ultra late game is actually not the best, especially compared to a Singed. I mean, the damage output from the Singed is going to be pretty horrendous, even without a lot of AP items. If this is tanky,
oh, Twin Shadows goes
absolutely unkillable. They're trying to get Chunju, forces the flash.
Yeah, they do.
They've waited out the Baron successfully, however, without losing very much.
Yeah.
But they still have that pretty significant 11K gold deficit. But you can see that strength from the Ozone composition in the fact that with 11,000 gold and a Baron buff, Blue's not able to do a whole lot right now.
Certainly kill turrets quickly, at least. And there we go. Now Spirit with that split push. Crazy, man. That is,
yes, that's
the
the ult.
fast attack. That's right. There's a new crazy Sorgus McGee in town.
Going absolutely nuts here, and now there's the open in him. More and more problems. 2 minutes until that Baron, and Samsung Blue will go back, reset for the Dragon, make sure they've got that vision control well in hand.
You know, really, unless Ozone can have a very good team fight in the next few minutes, it's just going to be a slow, painful death at the hands of Blue at this point.
Interesting, only a couple of wards picked up. Everybody pretty much out of slots except for Sense.
Yeah. Sense has the full support build, which is Philo Stone, Mobility Boots, and Ruby Sightstone. Full build.
And Home Guard.
And Home Guard. Oh, he doesn't have Home Guard yet, though. He's not full build, I guess.
No, he has Home Guard. Sense has Home Guard.
Sense? Oh, yeah, you're right. I was looking at Mata. My bad. Oh, I guess he's Sense even has Shirelius.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's gone beyond the full build. He's gone beyond the game.
It's the magic of cyberspace.
That's right. Magic of a moment in cyberspace. All right, well, Blue continuing to push, taking that red buff, just taking the jungle of MVP Ozone, Dragon, and Baron up in under a minute. So that's going to be something that they have to worry about very soon. We'll see. I mean, B can just, or Blue can just push.
It is a bit, yeah, they're going to go for this Dragon first. It is a bit surprising that they didn't use that time to actively clear out around Baron instead of just shoving the lane, because that lane is going to get counter-shoved nearly instantly. And the Baron is really the play here, and they need to make sure that they can vision control it so they can set up a pick with Ahri. And that's all been delayed now. And they're going to get even more wards on it as Mata creeps up to check things out. So
the dangers of warding. Mata going on that mission that all supports have to go on at this point in the game.
Yeah. I don't know if I like this, Doa, because now Ozone has the chance to set up a pick for themselves.
Yeah.
And they already shoved the lane in their direction.
We're seeing kind of we're seeing kind of a classic problem with some of these. I don't even want to call Blue like a non-veteran team because they've been around a long time, but I feel like they've still got that sort of new team status in that they're still having trouble closing games. You know.
Well, you have to have that call too, and that's something that you get as you gain experience. Right? For a sense, a jungler but relatively new-ish to that support position, and Mata is trying for his second pick of the game with this setup. It's a cute little tactic, but I don't think Blue's gonna buy it.
Oh, True Shot Barrage doesn't see them, but they back off anyway.
Yeah, this was just a sending 5 to push that bottom lane was entirely not worth it when they wouldn't be in this ridiculous Baron dance.
Yeah. Oh, Dade nearly gets slowed by Spirit.
And I also don't know what I think about this play of the really King build. I know I was muttering about it previously, but you really need the damage right now if you're blue. You really do, because the Singed is so tanky.
You know, and again, I feel like, to me, it looks like just sort of a confidence thing, where he's like, all right, well, if I get caught now, I can kind of get out again. Can you use the active on the blade to try to make it? All right, well.
Somebody needs to make a move.
I know. I'm going to go to the boost and slap somebody pretty soon if nothing happens here.
This reminds me of the EU LCS.
Right down to the Aatrox jungle, yeah.
Right down to the Aatrox jungle and the endless Baron dancing.
Yeah. Gambit, is that you?
Okay, is somebody actually going to try and make a play? They finally regained vision control. They're going to start it.
All right. We'll go down fast, too. There's the Baron, and I think we're going to see Ozone just rush mid. Or not. They're not going to do that at all. They're just going to try to come in. Oh. Here we go, Looper. He jumps up. There's the equalizer. Everybody coming in. Pawn coming around the outside has to pop that zone. He's a little bit early, but they get a lot of damage done. Looper just can't live long enough. A triple kill already for the total team. A double kill, I suppose I should say, for Deft.
That was just a great setup. Go ahead and take that Baron. And not only that, but Pawn played that so well. That time around, he's got the Zhonya's this time. He managed to create the pick and then go in, and he Zhonya's baited the rest of Ozone so hard. Kept them in the fight, kept them right next to the equalizer, allowed him to clean up, and that'll be a surrender.
Yep, GG, that is it. And MVP Blue takes down the team that went to Worlds. Yeah, MVP Ozone.
Samsung.
So, yeah, that's right.
Sorry, we're this is new sponsors.